Hello, wonderful people. This is Carisma here from Carisma Visuals Multimedia. I'm a creative director and a media expert around. I'm into live streaming and a lot of other things. I'm live at DCT Studios, ready to answer a bundle of questions. Coming into the creative space, that's the media space basically. I was originally in the tech space, which is also a creative space anyway. But then I studied computer science. I've always been in love with computer from a young age, so I studied computer science in general. Then over time, when I was done with my university, I began to find expression in the media space, being able to use my cameras to do a lot of stuff, being able to bring my creativity to life. In the tech space, there's a lot of things involved with creativity, being creative. You think about the idea, you have an idea in your head, you still now have to go and look for codes that can bring that idea to life. But in the media space, I find it more easier to express. Shoot these things you want to bring out, find a way to create them and bring them to life with actions and all that. It's way more easier for me, typing lines of codes and all that. So I found it more easier to to create with the media space. And then gradually I began to fall in love with what I do, and the transition just became more permanent. The media space is crowded. It's true. The tech space is more, I think I consider both spaces a creative space, but the other is more corporate than one. So let's stick to calling the media the creative space. But then it's crowded. Back in the day, there's I started media a very long time ago, where you work with the HD 10,000 cameras, you work with Pinnacle Studios for editing. You have this very huge setup. One CD plate is connected to, had the CD-ROM connected to this big laptop, this big desktop, that's not like a workstation like a Pentium 4 or something. You have to use like 4 days to to export the job and all that stuff. It was really a crazy experience, and then coming into that space where you carry these big cameras, you go to events to shoot, you just mount them on the tripod, the ones that are carrying them on the shoulders for those doing the cutaways. It was more of just let's shoot. Your cameras had two buttons that were very relevant: the telephoto button and the wide button. You just had to zoom in or you're zooming out. It was really a very simple experience. But then I think it has evolved. It has really evolved. It's more demanding. It's more. I think it's more enjoyable now because of you now have to learn about a lot of stuff. You have to start picking up ideas. You have to create. You just have to be very creative when you want to stay in the creative space now. The transitioning was not so bad, but staying in the space and staying relevant in the creative space is a crazy experience. The tech space is not so crowded because when you are good at programming, there's a demand for these guys. But I think in the Nigerian space as a whole, particularly the Asaba space, the media value is not so high like that. So we find a way to see how we are increasing our value. I can remember coming into the Asaba space and trying to tell somebody to pay for a musical video of 5 million, 10 million, even 2 million. You are wasting your time. It's more it's more or less you are trying to tell somebody giving you land money for shooting a video. It's crazy, but then it's been a very good journey for us. Okay, Asaba. Nigeria as a whole is a vast environment. We are people in love with creativity, and people in love. The average Nigerian man is creative. They will tell you that poverty will make you creative. So probably the kind of life we live in Asaba as a whole, or in Nigeria as a whole, has made us very creative people. What other people call comfort, we call it. What other people call normal, we call it luxury. So the creative space staying within that space of the creative, it's actually challenging. It has its own ups and downs, but then coping with the Asaba market is another journey on its own. It's something that needs to be studied, because if you go to a job in Lagos, not generally, basically, but I think a job I go to in Lagos can pay my rent, but 5 jobs in Asaba has not paid my rent, because I don't think the Asaba market has really seen the value of media. Sometimes you see, because my company will do social media management. You see us going to pitch to a company, a big company, and tell them you need to run a social. They tell you what they want to use social media. They are selling. It's difficult. But then over time, we've been able to see how we can come to that space of talking them into it. That's for the social media space. For weddings, you tell them, give them a wedding package of 500,000, 1 million. They are looking at you and telling you, Oga, they go use iPhone snap my wedding. It's been crazy. But other fellow creatives, they are suffering the same thing. But collaborating with the Asaba creatives have been very, very nice. We are not out there for everybody. Basically, I found my calling in the church media space. If you go to my Instagram, I'm called the Media Apostle. That's because of what I do. I go to churches or church-related, Christian-related organizations, and we help them with their media, pastors, public figures, music artists, and all that. And I most likely help them with their media and enhance it, because one of my major goals is to bring the excellence we have in the secular world into the Christian world. So one thing I've noticed over time is that the Asaba space, working with other creative, has been it's enjoyable. It's not that most of them are money conscious. You've barely find an Asaba creative who wants to collaborate. Let's run a project and collaborate and see how you can help our portfolio. I don't think there are many of them, but I know a few. Shout out to Winston Photography. The guy's dreams and goals are different from the regular Asaba creative, and some other guys too that I've sat with and talked to. Those I've reached out to online. It's been a crazy experience, and God has been faithful. Working and collaborating with the Asaba creatives is beautiful. Everybody knows everybody in Asaba, actually. And there are some regulars I meet at every event. I go to every major event. There's this particular face you're expected to see. I don't know how it works, but that's how it works in Asaba. So, like I said, we find a way to know each other, help each other, and work with each other in Asaba. I just rounded up a project. It was a crazy project, because if you into creative directing, musical videos, and all that, you would maybe understand what I'm saying. I just wanted a project of Pastor Tony Richie, Theophilus Sunday, Abior Jomu, Lyrica HI. We just did a video together. A live recording video, and the video was cut out from a bigger project that we did, and the program was Worship the King. It happened last year, 2024, December period, and we needed to do a live recording in a live program. It was it was like I think a 6-camera setup, and we're mixed with both professional hands and the regular hands, the church volunteers and all that. So it was really a challenging experience, but then it actually taught me a lot about working in the media space. Sometimes you just really have to make do. So when I started editing the video, I realized I just started laughing, because then I knew, thank God I was there, being part of the shoot. I knew it wasn't going to be an easy project, but then it's very interesting. Another project that was so interesting for me was the video with Mirabel Chisom. This very song, there's this TikTok sound that came out one time. It was a very interesting sound, and the sound has already gone viral before I was called for the video. It was already a viral sound, and they needed the video quickly. We had to shoot and post within 4 days. Do a full musical video, plan a full musical video, shoot and edit within 4 days. And it was really a crazy experience, because the timeline was crazy, and we just had to meet up with the whole thing, and going around Asaba looking for the perfect location, just meeting up with the whole project timeline and all that within a short time. I worked with the manager, that's Jarvis, that's a producer and manager for Mirabel Chisom. Very amazing guy, and I think he was very coming in the project, very demanding anyway. He's a guy that loves excellence, so he keeps telling you, he's always on your neck. Alpha. And we were together in the hotel for 4 days or 3 days to make sure that the editing was complete. And I think it was really a great experience going back and forth. Other than that, I've had other projects that were very interesting too, but I think those two stands out. Okay, media space in Asaba. I think there needs to be a sensitization. Let's start from there. People need to understand the value of media. You know, I see the online and the offline space as any business that's not in the online space right now. I feel like you are not serious. So let's start from there. Then moving into artists, there should be sensitizations too. You don't have to go to Lagos to be a viral sensation. You know, you don't have to go to Abuja to be a viral sensation. You can viral sensation rather. You can do that from Asaba. And one of the best ways to start it is I have a notion. I don't know how correct it is, but I've done my research on it. I feel like the online space and the offline space are mirror. They are the same thing. It's just that one is digital and one is, you know, the hardware part of it. You can see it basically. Traffic is built by regular use of a particular space. So people in Lagos, people who are doing a lot of things in Lagos are much. That is why you have a lot of traffic in Lagos. So now even we in Asaba travel online too. We'll go and watch Lagos people's content. I feel like that's traveling to the Lagos traffic and adding to their population, while you are not even engaging on our local content. I think we should be able to build a community around what we do. If you notice the Lagos guys, they have a community. You see Sydney Tucker, I don't know if it's safe to call names, but it's okay. Sydney Tucker collaborating with the likes of, you know, all of them are collaborating. All of them are collaborating. They are doing things together. And you see our own guys, once they begin to bring us their head a little bit, they go there to collaborate with these guys. You know, even the ones that are now sensations, they don't want to identify with the so-called local artists, not knowing that Lagos is their own local. You know, you see men coming from places like Ajegule, you know, different areas that are not even as beautiful as Asaba. Within Lagos, Lagos is a state. You know, Asaba is a town now or a city. Asaba is a city, and then there's a collaboration with these guys work with. Look at all the artists that are together. There's one way, they are in one way linked together. The Asaba community needs to collaborate more. You know, the few guys I've collaborated with has been a beautiful experience, but then we need to do it in larger scale. Shout out to the Data Creative. I'm actually I've forgotten the name, but within that space, Data Creative Data Creators and Influencers community, something like that. They did a very good job to bring creatives within data states together, and you know, they encourage collaboration. I met the likes of Onyeba too, and we did, you know, a lot of guys that I met that day, and they encourage collaboration. I think we should do that in Asaba. Let's collaborate. You know, jump on each other's sounds, jump on each other's videos, repost videos from each sound. I'm not going to call name. You know, I reached out to one guy. I do the social media. I recently ventured into the social media content because sometimes I like to be versatile along the media space. I ventured into this After Effects kind of content recently, you know, trying to make building tear apart, bring them together. I know that I've been seeing a lot of contents like that going viral online, so I wanted to work with the Asaba space. So I reached out to a blog, kind of a mini blog within the Asaba space, and said, can we collaborate? Let's create contents like this, then we can collaborate and post. The guy told me any video that goes up on my page is 25,000. You know, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying there should be room for collaborations like that. We should be able to work together, and it's not like me and you get to 2K for page. We have 2K followers. You said get 2K followers. I should be paying 25,000 for us to collaborate. It's not like I'm doing a paid content. You know, we are just trying to see how we can, you know, express the Asaba to the world. I noticed that most, even the ones that we are reposting self, is people coming to Asaba and say, work with me to Asaba, you know, and we in Asaba repost their content, while we can do things like that, work with each other and collaborate more, and get the traffic within the Asaba space much on, rather than going to, you know, when you go online, you go and watch videos from other people's page that are not within the Asaba. I'm not saying we should not do that. I say we should patronize us too, like, comment, work within the sphere of Asaba community and see how God will help us. First things first, learn. We have people who don't want to learn. Nobody in Asaba wants to learn. You have content creators that when they just press their phone and they're able to put 2 or 3 videos together and put a sound under it, they have turned content creators. The next moment they're taking big wedding gigs. You see them with phones and lights like this in events. learn before money. Learn. There's a thing that they don't understand. When you start making money in these projects, it's difficult to create. The learning time is where you can juggle around a lot of things. What do I need to do? How do I need to do? Which, what and what do I, you see something, you want to practice it. You can't practice your creativity on someone else's job. No, now. And most times when you have bills to pay, you've had a shop, you have people that you work under you, you have to, it's difficult. Your creativity is folded. The reality of life hits you. You don't have that versatility of creating. So learn. Spend time to learn. Research. Learn. Serve. Understand the space. Then another major advice is creativity and the business part of it are two different things. For example, you can be very creative and still don't understand the business part of. There's one question I keep asking myself when I enter the media space. There's some photographers I met when I was growing up. When we were going for Christmas that time, you go to a photo booth. There's this photo booth you meet. You go there, you snap pictures. These guys were still around, are still around up to now, but they've not really improved. So I kept asking myself that what's the question? Is it that this business is not lucrative, that they cannot, become big time, they can't build houses from it? Then I got to understand that the business part and the creative, sometimes you can get lost with the passion that you forget the business part of it. You can be too passionate about the job that you just want to do it. You are so enthusiastic to do the job that you forgot that you are supposed to charge. You find out one of the even major problem for pricing in Asaba is the people. We are the ones dropping the price. There should be like a price regulation because you are doing a job for 450, and this new creative who's so enthusiastic that wants to just enjoy the enthusiasm, the euphoria of the job. They are pricing that, they are trying to meet up with that job for like 150k. So you see them, their gain could be like 5,000, but they don't send, they just want to do it. The business part of the job is as important as the creative part, because if you don't want to be frustrated along the line, you should pay attention to the business part. Then what pays you in this job is not availability, is not just your consistency, but then the quality of your job. Fame is what pays you, and the quality of your job pays you too. So don't joke with your social media space. Even as an upcoming creative, just don't joke with your social media space. Then the most important one is God. I can refer everything I have today to God. There are some things I don't learn. There's somebody called the Holy Spirit, and that guy is the spirit of excellence. He has taught me a lot of things, and if you depend on him fully as a person, you learn a lot. You notice that there are a lot of common things about those of us in the creative space. There's a common vice we have, which is the womanizing and some more that love of money and some other stuff, but it's not supposed to be so. The creative space is a space that I've noticed that it's a foul space. You have a lot of people coming in with different ideologies, and some of them call it wokeness. Some people try to express their creativity and they have to be nude. I'm wondering why every content that's online has to be a nude content. If you want to shoot a skit, you must show big bum bum. Like I'm wondering I'm trying to get the similarity between big bum bum and comedy skit. Like it's like a thing. In the Nigerian comedy space now, they are synonymous, big bum bum and comedy skit. So I'm wondering if it's funny to have big bum bum, or you must dress in a nude. You don't have to pull your clothes for us to know that you're funny, guy. It's that whoever brought in that idea into the entertainment space did not do us well. The content we have are so adulterated and they are not helping us. So one of the questions I want to ask most creators, both upcoming and those who are there, if our children begins to consume the content we create, will you be comfortable? It's a question we need to ask ourselves. If your children now begin to consume most of the content you're creating, will you be comfortable? if that question is, if that answer is no, then you should start rethinking, why am I creating the content that I feel like my children should not consume? Do you understand? Because the social media space is not regulated to 18 plus or 18 minus. It's just there. So whatever content we create, it's there. Can we stop the soft porn and start creating meaningful content? Can we really stop creating for just monetary and start adding values to society? You know, one advice I will have I will give to the upcoming or the new aspiring content creator, videographer, photographer. You don't have to do what the others are doing for you to make it. Create content. Be good at what you do. Excellence is most important. Thank you very much. I'll just say media, always media, but tech is beautiful too. If I had the opportunity to use the same tools I use in the media space for tech, I would stay in tech. But then media all the way. Okay, that's a very difficult one. Why it's difficult is because I use both of them. The last project I just did, I used both of them. I start my editing with Premiere Pro, but I end up finishing it up with CapCut. But I always go for Premiere Pro. But depending on the project, if I have to do an After Effects, a project that involves SFX, if I start saying nonsense, SFX, I would use CapCut, because if I'm using Premiere Pro, that means I have to take the job to After Effects to work on. But sometimes, you know, there's this AI tech that is involved with CapCut that just helps us create. Commercials all the way. Movies is so difficult. The movie is so movies so especially the Asava movies. Let me not just say, there's this in the movie space, there's this urge to cut corners. You know, you have something you have created all for weeks, you've thought about it. I want to create this, and you just get to the space where you're creating and you don't have the resources to meet up with what you're creating, and you commercials, please. Let's just do commercials. Corporate all the way. Social event will get you running up and down and just trying to look for people who are spraying money up and down. And corporate events are more static, more dynamic, more static basically, rather, more responsive, and it's more they'll give you food in corporate event. You're not correct with caterers in corporate event. I don't know if they've settled the beef between caterers and other vendors, but then I think though that beef is not involved in the corporate space. And the corporate, they keep to time. The corporate tells you they want to do an event by 10 a.m. and it will close by 2 p.m. They will certainly close by 2 p.m. But social events, they will tell you that their event is Friday by 2 o'clock, by 1 o'clock, by 10 o'clock rather. By 2 o'clock, event has not started. By 9 in the night, if you are still there. So I think I will always go for a corporate event. I'm underrated. I can't say, sorry, that was abrupt. I can't say. Like I earlier said, I'm strictly held by the Holy Spirit, and then I can't take glory for anything that has happened in my life, especially in this my creative space. You know, there's a lot of things that I didn't learn that I just had, so I can't really say I'm overrated or underrated. But I'm underpaid, that's for sure. I might not be underrated, but I'm underpaid. I'm certainly underpaid. For people who don't know me, it seems that am I introverted or am I extroverted? I don't know. Actually, I'm extroverted. Actually, I'm not introverted. I'm not introverted. It's an occupational hazard. You know, when you have a busy mind and you are given a chance to express, like DCT Studios has given me a chance to talk about some stuff. You see that I'm dishing out a lot of shaking tables and all the stuff. So, I mean, I'm not introverted. I'm extroverted, but I can be introverted when need be. You know, the Bible says that we are like wind. whatever the Holy Spirit takes us to, that's where we are going. You don't understand how the Christian man acts or how the believer acts. So most times, by obligation, we are obligated to be introverted. That doesn't mean it's my character. I am very extroverted. I'm married, so shout out to my wife. My beautiful wife. She's been a major support to this journey. She's a creative too, and sometimes she can be the brain behind some of the things we do, and then she's my main critic. I don't like this part of this video. Can we take off this part of this video? It's a crazy experience working with being around somebody like me. Being married to somebody in our field is crazy. I can travel for a month, I can travel for 2 weeks, and she's just there, holding the fort for us. And that thing again that's very difficult about marrying somebody like us is you can just be moody, not moody per se, you can just be inside. She can be having a very serious discussion with me, and a content idea will come to my brain and I've zoned out, and sometimes she has to drag my head and tell me, I'm talking to you. So it's actually a beautiful experience being married to you. And shout out to my pastor. He took a chance on me, and the chance is paying off. Working in the Asaba market has been very crazy, but being a part of the Swasti family is beautiful too. I'm very happy to be part of that family, and it's a growing family, and God is helping me. Finding Jesus in the way I'm finding him is making life more easier for me. Shout out, who am I shouting out to again? To my staffs, all member and staff of Carisma Visual Multimedia. You guys are beautiful people. I love you all. Destiny and the rest of you, I love you all. You have been very beautiful. You have been a very good addition to the brand, and thank you for where we are now, and thank God where we are going to be in the future. Shout out to the City Studios. Coming here, I didn't know what to expect. It's a beautiful setup. It's a beautiful arrangement. Thank you for making Asaba, bringing something like this to Asaba. People with this kind of idea, you see them run away from Asaba because they want the audience and they want the quick money. Asaba will not give you that. In fact, creatives will fight you. But then it's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me today. My name is Carisma from Carisma Visuals Multimedia. I'm a creative expert. I'm into training. On all aspects of media, public speaker. I'm into musical video creator, creative director, and the rest of it. So thank you so much. My page is the Media Apostle on WhatsApp, on Instagram, and on TikTok, and on Facebook. Thank you very much.